I don't know if where I'm going to sit and how it looks. All right. Welcome to day B.
Right.
B for
in the decimal world, 11.
B for 11. This is the Base12 Spinalong. I'm Nick.
I'm Jill.
We're hip strings. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Right. So I need to get my fiber. You are spinning day
B.
Which
is the mallard bat, which is a dark blue-green. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to squish my... No, I haven't. It's one of my last two that I've yet to spin. Actually, as of today, I can tell everybody what I roll. That was a 10, so that's not it. That was 11, which means I get to spin day B also.
Well, then I'll be patient and wait
this
for
is the third day.
You got 3 days of matching.
3 days of matching. How is that?
One quarter.
Statistics. I'm sure there's some way for us to math that out. Let me see. Is this the right? Yeah. Okay. It's the same set.
Yep.
Oh, other important thing. I have to get my R2 unit here. It's completely washed out. There we go. If I put a little bit of shade on it, you can see it looks like an R2D2. In celebration of us having seen the Rise of Skywalker, I will not tell anyone about it except for the fact that I saw it, and I did not walk out in the middle of it. So that is a glowing review from me. Maybe one day we will be able to comment on it.
And I am wearing a hand-spun, hand-knit sweater that was not by me.
Yeah, so why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because it is beautiful.
So this is a sweater I picked up at Super Summer Knit Together this past year because somebody had it in the try-it-on room. Actually, somebody I know. He's a friend. And she had bought the fiber the last SSK, and it's 2 plies of Space Unicorn and 1 ply of turquoise. And she spun it, knit it up, and then decided she didn't like the sweater. She didn't like...
What is not to like about it?
She didn't like
She said it was a little bit scratchy, right?
The nylon.
Oh, she didn't like the nylon popping out of it.
Out of it, which does not bother me whatsoever. So I saw it in the try-it-on room and tried it on, and it's a perfect fit for me. I mean, perfect.
Both emotionally and physically, right? And
so I was telling her how much I liked it, and she's like, well, I don't really like it because I don't like the sparkly bits poking out. And I was just like, well, would you consider a trade? Like, I'll give you a sweater quantity worth of fiber or yarn, just like come to the booth and pick something out. And so I ended up trading her a sweater quantity worth of yarn for this amazing hand-spun, hand-knit sweater.
You totally got the better end of that deal.
Yeah, she thought she was really happy because,
because you gave her more work to do?
I gave her more stuff to do. And I was like, no, I got the deal. I got a hand-spun sweater. I am happy to trade hand-dyed
hand-spun, hand-knit sweater.
For hand-spun, hand-knit that fits me better than my own sweaters that I
the
make
stuff
for myself.
That you even designed. I mean,
yeah.
She is a hero amongst heroes.
And then somebody at this year's SSK, upon seeing this sweater, decided to buy the same fiber to make the same sweater.
It's perfect.
Themselves.
All right, so since we can't assume that everybody who's watching has watched before, do we need to talk about why this is day B instead of day 11?
You can do that.
Because it's base 12, and base 12, if we are representing numbers, we don't have a symbol.
Yeah, it's multiples of 12.
Yeah, so base 12 goes from 1 to 12 for the ones digits, right? We don't have a symbol that represents anything above that 12,
a 9.
Above a 9, right? Because we normally go to a 1, 0 when we go above a 9. So
you go
what
9.
we do is typically in math is represent those additional higher base numbers as letters, right? So 11 would be,
A.
or sorry,
10 is A.
10 is A.
11
And
is
11
B.
is B.
And then
And
12
then since
is
12
10.
ends up being 10 because you have filled up all of the ones digits, and now you are on to the 12's digits.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, to confuse everybody, is going to be listed as day 10 even though it's not day 10, it is day number 12 in base 10, but it is day 10 in base 12. Is that confusing enough for everybody?
After tonight, we just have one more night, which we were confused.
Yeah, we did
thought
terrible
we would be
math
finishing
too.
on the 24th, but no, we'll be finishing on the 23rd.
Yeah, so we would actually be able to maybe even ply up our stuff on the same day. So that was our fault, not because we can't add numbers, because I mean we can, but 2 PhDs made this mistake, so
Yeah.
I think it's excusable. No, the mistake came from the fact that we assumed we were starting on
A
a
zero.
0 rather than starting on a 1. So that's why we're 1 day off. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Probably not. That's okay. I'm even confused.
I'm going to blame it on it being the end of the year.
Yeah, that's cool. We can blame a lot of things on that. I've had so many people, like with my day job, they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, this is so late, or, I mean, heck, even the 5 guys we were at today, they only had 4 guys working, so everything is messed up there, right? End of the year.
Because I think this is spinning up smaller than I want.
This one does want to spin really thin. I keep on trying to have to jam some more.
I'm actually doing okay.
Because what are you doing now?
18.
Oh my God, stop going backwards, wheel. Yeah, when I'm doing what I want to do, 16, 18, take 16, 18-esque. Right. So, for you Star Wars fans, you may notice my wonderful pork shirt. I love my pork shirt. It is adorable. I should actually learn the name of the artist who actually made it, because it's the best. We have a couple of these shirts, to be honest. But I like this one a lot, especially because I feel like it represents my 3 children very well. My youngest is that Porg over on the right side of the screen, left side of the screen? I don't know. Left side of the screen. That is trying desperately to be helpful, but not actually being helpful by blowing out the fire on the Christmas tree. The Porg on the right is just screaming and, oh my God, what's going on? There's a fire. And the Porg in the middle is, I don't care what else is going on. I've got this beautiful thing of mine, and everything else can burn.
Yeah.
That is my oldest child. So, I think
who knit half a scarf tonight?
Who ended up knitting half a scarf tonight? I was very proud of her. She was in bed when I went to go say goodnight to her. She was in bed knitting. To pull it out of her arms.
Yeah, our friends came to stop and stay for a couple days with us, and they had a giant, like super bulky Chanel scarf.
Super mega bulky. She is using size what? 14?
17? 15? Something like that.
Teens yarns, 15s yarns.
And so we stopped by Michael's today so she could pick up 2 skeins of this super bulky Chanel. And she has already 1 skein down.
So squishy. It's like the first project or second project she's ever going to actually finish, which is awesome. But she's got a lot of whips.
She had to steal needles from a whip in order to do this.
But the first project she did when she was 5. That is my most prized scarf that I have. I remember even teaching her on the stairs, helping her learn how to knit. And then there's my favorite now. I taught my niece how to knit. I taught her how to knit last year and didn't really catch in her brain. She kept forgetting and kept asking for help on how to remember the process. And then in the meantime, I learned from the internet a fantastic way of remembering the process. So those of you that are knitters, You can follow along mentally with the process. First, you stab it, then you strangle it, then you rip out the guts, and then you throw it off a cliff. And for some reason, my 9-year-old niece, that clicked with her perfectly, and she was knitting like a fiend after 5 minutes. The second time I taught her how to knit.
You'll have to try that with Adrian.
I will.
Since he wants to learn to knit over the winter break.
Yeah. No, that is a great mnemonic. Stab, strangle, pull out the guts, throw it off a cliff. And it works pretty well.
Mm-hmm. There are kinder, gentler ways.
Yes, but when you're trying to teach a young child, they will remember that one. This age of violence. What do you think of the children?
Yeah. So how are you with your stocking?
Oh yeah. So maybe I should talk about the Beskar first.
Yeah.
Since there was that whole thing of yesterday, I was like, no, I said I was 1 or 2 away from being done. Yeah, no, I'm done printing my Beskar, so that's good. So I started painting it. I decided instead of doing it all in one session like I did with the Beskar for my brother, I was going to do it in multiple sessions to relieve my own stress. So the Beskar is all done being printed, and the first coat of one side has been done. For those of you that are not aware, Beskar is another Star Wars nerd thing related to the Mandalorian. It is the material that the Mandalorian's armor is made out of. So there are some models on the internet for what you can 3D print to make it to make one of these blocks of Beskar. And so I made up a bunch for my brother, and I'm making up a bunch for my children for Christmas as well. In other things that I'm making for my children for Christmas, I'm finishing the last stocking for the family. And that last stocking is the one for Christopher. And I have finished all the color work, which means all that is necessary to be done is the toe and the heel. It's an afterthought heel style. So that'll be, it's such a weird ending look, but since it's not actually going to go on anyone's foot, it's cool. It's got enough of a texture in it that, like, as an actual, like, stocking heel, I don't think I would be happy wearing it,
Yeah.
Although this is the only one that I actually think, size-wise, is coming out to something I could wear. I don't know why, but every time I've knit these darn patterns, this is the 5th one I've done. Every time I've knitted,
yarn.
it's a new yarn, but every time I've knitted, it's come out a different size.
Yeah, and you always use the same needles.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but I'm so glad that I don't have to knit it to a particular size. It's just, I think what ended up happening
You and Gage are not the best of friends.
No, it's not that. It's this with color work. Color work gauge is weird, right? And it is a new yarn, and it is. How long have I been working on all these projects? Over the entire realm of all these things.
It's probably close to 10 years.
Yeah, so I think it's excusable if my gauge changes over a 10-year span. My first one that I knit for myself, I think, is the biggest. So I just use that as the excuse that I'm the one that deserves the most precedence.
You knit for me first.
Oh, that's right. I did knit one for you first.
So
Meredith has opened Day B,
B.
and she is.
She had to come over to tell us how pretty it was.
She's in near tears about how pretty it is. So hopefully all of you feel the same way. What was it called again? Mallard?
Mallard.
I was going to call it Duck, but that's not quite the same thing.
Duck.
Duck, where? No.
So, and I think I'm gonna figure out a way to open up the colors to pre-orders. I don't know if I have versions of the fluff all like that I can photograph. Should have done that. But for people who have participated in the spin-along, yeah, the bats are reproducible as well as the hand-dyed and all of the signature blends, I have to make the primary yellow and the secondary orange individually
Purchasable.
purchasable.
I want a sweater in this.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just talking about opening up the pre-orders for it.
Jill apparently just got her first pre-order for the for Mallard. In speaking of other things that we are now going to be doing, I've finally recognized that apparently you don't need to have all of the fancy intro songs and extra
To be on the
text
internet.
and everything to be on the internet and get people to actually watch. So I think we might end up making this a more regular occurrence with better camera and better lighting.
Yeah.
But try to do, I mean, doing it every day is a little bit rough, but we might be able to start resuming our Hip Strings podcast maybe once every other week or even every week if everybody likes it.
I think twice a month is a good start.
You know me.
I know. And I know me.
I
So
do like this this live medium. If you all like it, then let us know. Obviously, it's hard on you all to watch every night. So the nice thing is that you can always watch it. You can always watch it at a later time. So it's not
on
necessary
YouTube.
to watch
So we're
it now.
putting them on YouTube.
The only thing that's necessary is if you want to interact with us
Yeah.
while we're recording, then you got to do that at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't had interactions in the past anyway, so we get simultaneous
Oh.
messages. It's from our friends.
Okay. With friends.
Friends, what are those things? So, what else would be the? What else do we want to talk about? What do we need to talk about?
I don't know.
We already talked about Star Wars. We already talked about.
I finished my undercurrent spin as far as singles.
What is your undercurrent spin? Oh, spinning the fiber undercurrent
Yeah, and then I realized that like the bobbin I wanted to use.
to fly.
No,
Or-
the bobbin to start a new thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I have some BFL I got that I dyed, and it has way too much VM in it for using in shop stuff. So I'm combing it for myself, and I wanted to get started because I'm feeling the weight of all this fleece.
The
over
weight
my
of
head.
all this fleece, the cloud.
But
a
so
dark
I cleared
cloud
off a
hanging over
Magic
your
Craft bobbin to realize that it's one of the standard Magic Craft bobbins, and it doesn't have the holes in it for use on my aura. So I can only use the Aquaworks bobbins unless you drill some holes for me.
Which I offered to.
Yeah, but I'm really feeling bad about asking you to do things because you've already been doing so much lately.
That's so sweet of you. No, it's okay. I like drilling holes in things.
So I am without a bobbin because this is something I definitely want to spin on one of the smaller, not the Aura flyer, that I want to spin on a standard Magic Craft flyer with an actual orifice and stuff
And stuff and things.
So I don't have the proper bobbins to start spinning this, which might be a problem for my spinning physical therapy in the morning.
Well,
I might have to come downstairs
and spin down here.
No, but I don't have extra bobbins for this wheel either. Maybe I'll have to spin on the Ashley.
Or you'll actually just have to get me to drill some holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you got to spin on your Ashley and Skulls, right?
Yeah.
You haven't spun on that in a long time.
I tried spinning very early on after my back was hurt, and it was still bothering my hip because my stool's not nice and soft and supportive. So I might just steal the office chair and see if I can spin from that.
That'll be a weirdly ergonomic chair to use, but it should work.
I've got cotton on that wheel.
Happy Sunday night, Soul Waters. Good.
Grab an R2.
That's my drink. Oh no!
I made it.
These sad R2 sounds.
So are you coming back? Did you get into SSK for this year? Are you coming back?
That's right, it's the king. This is the weird thing about asking people questions, because we can just say it, they have to actually type it. It's just terrible.
Oh, awesome. The king will be back.
All right. Long live the king. We will see you there as well. Yeah, we've been doing this this spin-along thing for Base 12. You can go back onto our YouTube channel and see the past ones as well, and watch us fumble and figure out things to say. No, so I think one fun thing to talk about is your idea for having Star Wars sweaters for a trip to Disney.
Yes. I think it needs to happen, at least for us two.
Well, at least give a description about what you were planning, right? So we were talking.
So
about,
I need AT-ATs.
Okay, well, we got to take a step back, right?
Okay.
So, Jill, sweaters in Florida. That sounds silly.
We're going in February.
All right, you have no theatrics about this. Do
No,
you?
I have no theatrics whatsoever.
Okay. So in Florida in February, it is not cold, but at least chilly enough that in the morning you're going to want something
sweater,
warm,
yeah.
right? So, especially with something nice like wool that'll actually breathe and be reasonable.
Yeah.
It would be great to have hand knit sweater specifically for such a tremendous event like us going to Galaxy's Edge. So we were thinking about making hand knit sweaters, at least for the two of us, with yokes that had Star Wars motifs. So we could have X-Wings or Millennium Falcons, or we can do this.
I've got to have AT-ATs.
And Jill's got to have AT-ATs because that's Jill's favorite thing about
Though
Star
even
Wars.
though Rise of Skywalker solidly, made me a rebel, I still love AT-ATs.
Well, I think everybody loves AT-ATs.
Not like I do. My sole reason for wanting to go on the Rise of the Resistance ride is to see the full-size AT-ATs.
Be in Marvel. I'm actually a little bit worried that the Rise of the Resistance ride is going to be too scary for Christopher.
I think
because it's going to be pretty realistic, supposedly. It's like, it's like a 30-45 minute ride.
It's like a 20-minute ride, but then there's like a theatrical component beforehand.
It's really cool. I'm so excited. And we, while we were waiting to watch Rise of Skywalker today, there was a
What?
12-foot Davis saying AT-ATs are somewhat
See? AT-ATs are silly, but I love them.
So, we had a conversation. Okay, yeah. So there actually is a couple of good motifs from Star Wars for Star Wars patterns to do like the color work. So I'm sure you can find some really good ones.
I know I've seen AT-ATs. I've seen like
there's a famous double-sided scarf that people do.
Yeah.
That is a full collection of Star Wars stuff. But we were having a conversation about the AT-ATs and how they actually were very good military vehicles.
Besides their,
the one weakness, but they still won the Battle of Hoth, right? The Empire still won the Battle of Hoth.
Yes.
And the Empire also won the Battle of I can't remember the name of the planet where they stole the plans for the Death Star from, right? They still technically won that because they killed everybody except for that one ship that got away.
Yes.
Um,
They're good amphibious vehicles.
Yeah. And it's great because you don't know if the ground is going to be, fall out underneath you. So you could just have this really tall, long leg to deal with it, right?
Star Wars doesn't have to make factual sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
It's mythology.
It absolutely is. Well, also, you reminded me of my love of the fact that it's a story told by the victors, right? So if you view this as mythology, a lot of it makes a lot more sense and is a lot more okay than trying to go for the absolute details, right? Yeah, okay, it's a little bit silly that the guy that was the janitor on Starkiller Base ended up destroying it, right? Like, that's a little bit much. But storyline-wise, as a mythology, it's emphasizing the fact that even those with the smallest amount of information,
I love how
the
easily
smallest amount of value,
hack into any
general protocols,
first order protocols
that they haven't changed, since he left or anything. Yeah.
Plot holes, we have them.
So, anyway, the whole making a Star Wars sweater, we're thinking about just like making sweaters, but then having like the yoke have some motif. So you were thinking about having AT-ATs.
Yeah,
I was thinking X-Wing for myself, but then I realized, for Galaxy's Edge, they don't have X-Wings there.
not yet.
I mean, not yet.
They're testing X-Wing drones.
Well, no, they already used those X-Wing drones.
Oh.
They used them for the opening of
So they might come back.
Rise of the Resistance.
You could do Millennium Falcons.
I was thinking about X-Wings and Millennium Falcons. I love the fact that they brought back B-Wings for the latest movie. B-Wings are my favorite ship. They're the most impractical. They're even more impractical than
AT-ATs.
AT-ATs. I mean, come on. Okay, so you've got...
Maybe I should finish my Imperial Walker tomorrow.
Maybe you should. That would be a good idea.
I have one of the giant Lego Imperial Walkers that I got for Christmas
Last
2
year.
years ago.
It was 2 years ago? Oh, God.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh, God.
I think it has 3 legs now. I'm a couple bags away from finishing it.
It is beautiful and huge.
Yeah, I have a regular AT as well, and then I've got
This
Bandai.
was the ATDP. The latest one you're talking about is the ATDP.
It's in the Imperial Assault Walker.
Yep.
And then I have an original AT-AT, and then I have a Bandai model of an AT-AT, and then I have a smaller AT-AT.
You got
as well.
2 different small versions of AT-ATs. One that came from a Star Wars Lego Advent calendar, and one that came as just a miniature.
Yeah,
one.
they're small, and there's like a
Riding
little
a
assault
backpack.
walker too.
Yeah.
I don't like them that have the colors on them. So like the ones from Rogue One, I don't like.
And the one from Mandalorian you don't like.
Mandalorian, I don't like.
Just the Walker, not the AT-AT. There's no AT-AT in Mandalorian, I think.
It's an AT-ST, but it has red legs or something. I don't like it.
Must be gray. No emotion.
I like
for somebody
AT-STs.
whose job is to do color work, you love your AT.
No, it means I have very strong opinions about color.
You know what you should do is you should design a colored AT-AT now.
I don't like the Imperial people who have like the red parts of their armor, or
This is the Sith related ones.
Well, no, there were ones on the Star Destroyers that have like a red.
You're saying
shoulder.
the latest movie?
Yeah, in the latest movie.
It's because they're the Sith army. They're not Imperial anymore.
Oh, I don't like them.
You're getting awfully close to spoilers.
I know, I am.
Okay.
They're not really important spoilers.
Marvelous Miss Maisel, time for me. Sweet dreams, Babu people, Mary to you and
Have
your
a
family.
lovely time
You
with
as well, the
Marvelous
King.
Miss Maisel.
That is a great show. We've just started watching.
Oh, I've watched
You
season-
watched all of season 3.
You
right?
haven't watched all of
I
it.
started watching season 3, and it is, in fact, marvelous. Thanks for joining, even for a short time. We love having people pop in and out.
I don't like crossovers.
What do you mean crossovers? What are you talking about?
The Sith and the
You're making
Imperials.
very little sense.
No color on my Imperials. Imperials are supposed to be monochrome.
Balls. I am doing badly today.
I am going to win today.
You're going to kick my butt, and I deserve that after winning yesterday so handedly. Oh my god, how am I failing so badly at threading this? Come on, Nick.
I don't even have like a tube orifice.
I know. Don't even start with me. I'm getting tired. Of course.
Did you fail again?
I failed again. The force is not with me.
No, apparently. Oh, I can take a break then.
You could take a break to steal from my drink. Can I have a steal from my drink too?
Yeah, you might need it.
Thank you.
Maybe it'll improve your ability to thread your orifice.
Typically, that's not how it works. Okay, go the right way, wheel. All right.
I love how like my drive wheel is millimeters away from your head. Not
Yeah.
your, the head of the spinning wheel, not
Yeah.
his physical human head.
There we go. We just work well when we're together and close to each other.
Mhm.
You can tell I'm serious about things because I'm sitting
Yeah,
forward
you're upright and not leaning back.
and I'm looking at
very
what I'm
serious.
doing, and this is like when you're playing video games and like, you know, things getting real when you sit forward. All right. So what else is new?
So what are you gonna spin after this then?
I got to spin my alpaca, right?
Yeah.
My coffee colored alpaca.
Not coffee.
What is your interpretation of the color?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. It's a little bit lighter than cinnamon.
Mort.
Mort?
Mort.
Mort. What's
It's a
mort?
specific color like Shetland.
Okay.
It's a brown.
Can it be a mort if it's not a Shetland?
Yes. Other fleece are described as mort, even though they aren't Shetland.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I got to do that so that I can finish up all of my singles to get ready to weave my poncho. You know, and that'll likely happen just in time for summer when I don't need a poncho, because that's how this stuff works. I gotta hit up Gap's Bunny Nuggets. I wonder if I'm gonna have enough time
Yeah.
to do some for Christmas.
Let me see if we can kind of finish the stocking.
I should probably be able to finish the stocking tonight.
The bunny nugget's gonna take like an hour.
Oh, good.
So we can watch more Witcher.
Yeah. So we watched more Witcher last night.
We'll probably we'll get caught up to where I am.
We'll watch more tonight. Still doing pretty good as a series. I like it. That's all I can say on that. I'm really wanting to see more Mandalorian. Now I'm wondering how that relates to
What we saw today.
what we saw today. There's only one reason why I think they may have wanted to force it earlier than the release of Rise of Skywalker, and I don't think they actually needed to.
I don't think they needed to either.
Especially considering how empty our theater was. Now, granted, we didn't see it.
Okay, we saw it like at a theater that's kind of in a dead part of town that is way over capacity
At noon.
at like noon.
Not 3D, not
the fancy seats.
IMAX, not XD.
D-box or yeah.
What is that D-box thing? Yeah.
The seats move. Like
What?
yeah.
It's ridiculous. Although I was pretty excited for some of the trailers that we saw, right?
Yeah.
So Mulan looks really good.
Yeah, Adrian told me he wants to see Mulan.
Oh, good. I'm so proud of him.
And
for that.
he's excited about Black Widow too.
Black Widow seems interesting. I don't know if I'm excited about it.
I'm confused about Black Widow
Why?
because I thought she was an orphan,
Yeah, it
and
looks like
suddenly now she has a whole family.
not only a family, a super family.
Yeah,
It seems like it's the Incredibles 3, right? Like
Russian Incredibles.
Russian Incredibles. But
Oh, you've got like a whole chunk over there.
I do. What the heck happened? How did you do that?
Jill Powers.
Jill Powers, indeed. You not only okay. So that was embarrassing.
I thought you were close.
No way.
I thought I had competition. I didn't realize you have like an entire like more 6 inches.
I've done maybe half, dear.
No.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Are you just gonna surf the internet now? You're not even gonna talk to our fans. You're just gonna be like, "Oh, I'm done. See you later, guys. Leave me here."
Gosh, I can make plans for the rest of the week.
What do you mean you could be plans?
I
So,
have time to think.
what are you gonna make for dinner?
Yeah, I do need to figure that out. Christmas dinner.
Well, we said we were gonna make some lamb leg.
Yeah.
When do we need to start the sous vide on that? Are we gonna sous vide?
I don't know. Do you want this to be?
So, for those of you that don't know about, hey, look, Christiana joined. Hey, Christiana. For those of you that don't know about sous videing, it's amazing. It's a very cheap and easy way. Look how much I have left.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna be here forever.
Thanks. I tried to do the Z.
Do you need some help?
What do you mean? Do I need some help? No, you can't spin any of my fiber.
No, like teaching you how to properly Z strip a bat.
No, not right now. Concentrate. Anyways, so sous videing. It's a controlled temperature bath that allows you to basically braise things in such a way that it makes any cut of meat rather fantastic. So,
Brace the slab.
fine, I'll brace the slab. So it can make really, really tough meats very tender. It can make really tender meats just like melt in your mouth.
Yeah, it's really better for things that should be cooked low and slow, and it's hard to have that temperature control on.
So
we typically use it for ribs, pork butt.
Yeah.
It's really good for making carnitas, stuff like that.
and the lamb leg, it's good for that
Yeah.
too.
So, yeah, I don't know whether or not we want to do the lamb leg or if we want to pull out the lamb shoulder that we have.
Well, I already pulled out a second lamb leg.
Okay. 2 lamb legs might be.
Half a lamb.
And we have some baking to do. We'll have to do dough for Christmas cookies tomorrow.
Yep. And we're gonna make some cake too.
Yeah, the kids requested a Nick layered cake.
Oh, really?
Yes, they want all your fancy cakes.
One of my fancy cakes. Oh gosh, what am I gonna make? I still gotta make my figgy pudding too.
Yeah.
Okay, so what sort of layered cake?
So you'll
what
be
themes
baking
should
and
I
I'll
make?
probably be wrapping tomorrow.
I like that.
Christmas tree?
A Christmas tree. I could do that. That'd be cool. I like that idea.
Kind of a cone?
how do I describe my interest in various hobbies? I don't when I find something that I'm intrigued about, I like doing it. And
Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. Baking has stuck. I like to bake. I like to bake all sorts of things.
Hello to Slanted Stitches.
Hey, Slanted Stitches. Welcome. So yeah, I think with the baking, I've ended up probably expanding a lot more with cakes because, quite frankly, we found a some crazy stuff going on here. Anyways, found a fantastic recipe from America's Test Kitchen on a typical yellow cake, layered cake, and it made me question why I ever bought cake.
So are you make me a Swiss meringue frosting?
Well, that's what we were talking about, right? Like, so
yeah, we're gonna try.
I've been a little bit tired of the buttercream.
Yeah, I don't like buttercream; it's too heavy.
Yeah, and oh my god, it like uses up all the butter in the house.
Yeah, it feels wrong to slather cake and butter and sugar.
It's mostly butter and not enough sugar. Quite frankly, I like the sugar frosting.
I like the meringue frosting.
Yeah.
So, and we've watched enough Great British Bake Off.
You have watched enough Great British Bake Off
to have an opinion on different types of meringue.
Yeah, there you go. So you can tell me what I'm doing wrong.
I think the Swiss meringue is what is the type of frosting I like best.
We'll
find out.
Frosting. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out if I can handle it. I got the chops.
You do an angel food cake in your sleep, so
that's true. But kitchen ends up being very much like a Great British Bake Off show.
Yeah.
We have done our own like Iron Chef challenges for fun. That was fun.
We did the Great Smoothie Challenge. I won.
The Great Smoothie Challenge was fun. Yeah. We had our friend who was had celiac disease, and we're like, all right, let's do a gluten-free
pie.
No, we just did a gluten-free snack challenge.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, you can make whatever you want. It just has to not have gluten.
You missed all of my spinning. You did not miss Nick's spinning.
Yes, Jill. Let's rub this in harder.
Nick still has a bit to go. We'll be here for a while.
I have a bit to go. I swear to God, like I looked at both of them before when we started off. Yeah, you know what? Quite frankly, pies are better. I bought an extra bag of cherries so we can make cherry pie.
I usually make the pies.
Yeah, but I did a pretty good job at
You did a good job at Thanksgiving.
I need to add more sugar to the cherries.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more lemon. And but I think the crust I did pretty good.
Oh, I kind of want to make my mom's little tiny pecan bar.
Tea time tassies.
The tea time tassies.
Yeah. All right.
I think I have that recipe somewhere.
We're gonna be baking nonstop and be very fat by the end of it.
Yes, I did promise somebody who would go on a hike over the winter break.
I don't think that's going to accommodate for all of the baking we do.
You mean that like a single 30-minute hike with 7 children?
7
combined.
Children.
She has 4 children.
Oh, the friend. Yes. Okay. I think you're like.
It's not like suddenly we're going to get 4 additional children.
I was like,
in the
where did my
2
additional
days.
children come from? Like, are you pregnant and just
No.
been hiding it very well?
No. Yeah. Probably a 30-minute hike with children in tow will not counteract a tea time tassies and cake and pie and cookies.
And don't forget all the liquor.
But I can pretend, right?
Well, if we carry the children.
I can't carry anything.
If I carry the children.
Well, then you can have the pie and the cake and the cookies and the tea time tassies and all of that.
Yep. No, that's my my exercise goal. That I never have to tell my children that I can't pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I continue to exercise for. but I continue to stay in shape for, and if I maintain lower in weight, then that is that many pounds more that my children can gain, and allow me to still pick them up.
I think all 3 of them together equals one of us.
That's scary. I don't think I can carry all 3 of them anymore.
No, that would not be good.
I have done it when they were younger.
When they were younger. They do have this tendency to get bigger.
Yeah. That is a good thing for them.
And
not
an
a good thing
increasing
for me.
rate.
I know we've got to be entertaining for more time. I'm sorry. I will try to spin faster. So yeah, pies. I love myself a pumpkin pie. You know what? The sweet potato pie is, I think, really what I like the most.
You and my dad.
Yeah, but then pumpkin pies are a good second.
So my dad's reason for liking sweet potato pie is that because everybody leaves the sweet potato pie alone, and he doesn't have to share it with anybody.
Except for me. Ha ha ha! No wonder your dad doesn't like me. No, I'm kidding. He likes me plenty. I just steal a sweet potato pie.
We usually make a cherry pie, sometimes an apple pie.
And then we have a pumpkin pie from Costco, because there's no way that we can produce one that is nearly as good for nearly as cheap.
Yeah. I haven't figured that out.
Costco pumpkin pie is a piece of magic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why am I spinning so thin now?
That's been so thin.
I am definitely going thick and thin on this.
Sorry for all my yawning.
I know, I'm boring.
No, it's not that you're boring. We have a little one that keeps interrupting our sleep at night.
Yeah, well, he does enjoy snuggling his parents.
Because the Duartes get pink eye for Christmas.
Yeah, not us, hopefully.
Hopefully. Hopefully it'll be cut off at 1.
Yeah, well, we changed all the sheets. I hope I'm not going to have to do that every day.
Did you give him some medicine?
I did.
Good.
So, what else? What's going to be my next knitting project? That's what I really want to know. Well, I got to work on these Star Wars sweaters if I'm going to do that.
Yeah, and then I had a sweater for you to knit for Chris.
Well, maybe I just add a Star Wars motif into that one too, huh?
It might be a little bit more difficult.
Why?
Because it's like hand-spun marble pulley.
Right.
It's going to be the matching sweater to your sweater. Like, same yarn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had enough left over from that spin to knit a sweater for
Which one is this?
the really dark hand-spun sweater you have.
Okay.
Your most recent hand.
The one that Gab says looks like a dad's sweater.
Yes.
Which,
there's enough left over
to me,
sweater.
I don't know. When I hear dad's sweater, I think Bill Cosby, and I'm like,
I don't want to be Bill Cosby anymore.
where's my drink? So yeah, the movie. We did see the movie today, in fact, and it was good. It was not a work of art,
right? But it was
not
what
fan
it
service.
Needed to be.
It was. I think the statement we've come to is it is what it needed to be. So it was enjoyable. I'm glad I saw it. I will definitely watch it again.
It wraps up the Skywalker saga,
as it was supposed to do. So, I am pleased with it.
It was more traditional Star Wars than like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it very much mirrored Return of the Jedi in the pacing and the events and stuff.
That's episode 5, right?
No, that's 6.
6?
5 is
Empire. Empire Strikes Back.
All right, let's stop. We're getting dangerously close to spoilers. Go watch it. So what is a good time to assume? I mean, obviously, day 3 of a movie's release is not.
No.
But when is the appropriate time to assume that everybody who's going to see it has seen it? This is a philosophical
That
question.
people
for you.
relinquish their right to
Be upset about spoilers.
I feel like 2 weeks is good.
2 weeks, really? That's a lot. I mean, that's not a lot.
I don't know. I saw somebody like get into somebody on the internet about spoiling something for a movie that came out like 2 years ago.
Okay, that's too
So-
much.
And somebody was like, dude, it's been 2 years.
I think the home release. I think it's
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's been released to video.
if it's
or
been released to
streaming.
video or stream to some version of home release. I think that is definitely when it's okay to spoil. We've got to vote for 2 weeks is reasonable. I think that's reasonable for people who are really into it, but you know, if I don't know, I still feel like there's going to be some
like if
people
you're
who,
waiting for home release, like that's really asking a lot.
well, I mean, so for us, if we weren't absolutely crazy about it, we wouldn't be going to the theater to see it with a little kid, right? I mean, think of us 5 years ago, right? Would we have with
When
the
it was something we
newborn?
really cared about, spoiler, we switched off.
Yeah.
And one person went, and then the other person went.
We did do that with Endgame. We've got to vote for 4 weeks from Meredith, and 12-Foot Dave is apparently already asleep. Falling asleep at theaters, I've only done that once, and I'm embarrassed to say it was watching the re-release of Empire Strikes Back. But that was because it was a
Did you go
midnight
to a
showing.
midnight showing?
I went to a midnight showing. That's my excuse. It's not a good excuse, but okay, I'm on my last third.
Oh, good.
And I have to say I'm enjoying the spin, but it is inconsistent as hell.
I can definitely tell I experience movies very differently in the theater than seeing them at home.
Yeah. I especially do when there's some jerk behind me tapping their cup every 5 seconds.
Yeah. I feel like I have a much more emotional response in the theater, but I tend to enjoy movies more at home.
Well, so I have the problem. Lenora we've got some stuff on YouTube we've been ignoring.
Yeah.
2 weeks, another vote for 2 weeks. For Star Wars people, all the people who want to see it, we'll see it in the first week.
I had another week
for
for stragglers.
stragglers.
So 2 weeks.
2 weeks is a pretty good time.
I mean, like, maybe some of the huge spoilers you can hold off. But I feel like right now everybody's being fairly, at least in my realm of the internet.
Hey, Jill. Vader is Luke's father. No, too soon. Ah! Yeah.
That everybody's being quite good about spoilers and basically saying either I liked it or I didn't like it. And if I didn't like it, this is why I didn't like it, but without going into plot at all.
Generally, people are being good. Although it got to the point where I was like, I can't watch all of these. Or I can't.
Okay, your
I can't even go on
automated
the
news feed was
My
not
automated news feed was
the worst.
trying to send stuff to me about like, you know, this is why blah 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 scene. Like in the title of the damn article, they were giving things.
Okay, like when I got home and I looked at my news feed, it was full of Star Wars articles, and I was like, okay, now I can read them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, spoilers everywhere.
Yeah, everybody wants to talk about it.
And I'm glad I didn't read anything before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had indulged myself in so many theories that every time something happened, I'm like, all right, that's theory number 65. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, this one's theory number 2. All right, that checks out. Like,
It was a good, like, okay, these fan theories were right. These were wrong.
and it almost was like the writers didn't actually have to do any thinking. They were just
Yeah,
like,
they had
let's-
to just go pick which
let's
fan
go
theories they
see what
wanted to
people
go
are
adopt.
talking about on
Yeah.
fan theories.
Oh, I like this version.
Yeah.
Let's make this
which
the
makes me
backstory.
feel I should have posted my fan theory earlier.
Mm.
there's a big question. Can I talk about fan theories that are proven to be wrong? Because by proving them to be
No,
wrong,
I don't think you can. I think
no, I can't. I've got to wait.
it's like the anti-spoiler. You've got to
Yeah.
wait 2 weeks.
Oh, well. I'll have to see what Palomitas con Salsa says about Star Wars when he sees it. So one of my employees, he has a audio podcast called Palomitas con Salsa, which is Spanish for popcorn with salsa. And they're not talking about salsa like, what we typically think about of salsa. He's Mexican, so he knows actually what salsa is. It's basically what we call hot sauce, right? So palomitas is popcorn. So popcorn with hot sauce, which my first response was, oh my God, that's terrible. Why would you want something liquid on popcorn? And then he reminds me, well, you guys do it with butter, which I don't like butter on popcorn, so it was still kind of icky for me. And then it was just like, it was like an earworm in the back of my head. Like, he's doing this. He's not a dumb guy. This might be good. I gotta try it. So I finally tried it. Oh my God, it's good. Like,
I don't know. I think I'm still a dry rub popcorn person.
Well, yeah, dry rub is good too, but this it mixes the soft with the crunchy. Yeah, no.
I have texture issues.
I know you've got texture issues. That's your problem. I like it. Anyways, so his audio podcast is called Palomitas con Salsa, and he reviews movies with his wife in Spanish. And it's interesting because it's one of those situations where a lot of these movies, they're going to come out in Mexico later with translations. And so people are going to want to know how these movies are. So he gets to, it's almost like getting reviews from, the movie industry where people have seen the movie ahead of time. But it's not that he has this weird special access. It's just he's in the U.S. and not in Mexico.
Yeah.
And can speak English and Spanish. So it's a unique situation. I haven't listened to his podcast yet. I need to. If you speak Spanish, I recommend it. He's a nice guy. But yeah, I have had some conversations.
Don't read the Star Wars articles.
Yeah, unless you're fine with spoilers or unless you've seen the movie.
No, don't be okay with spoilers.
Don't be okay with spoilers.
Well, sometimes. But this is a movie that's really good to go in spoiler free.
Still, I'll enjoy it watching it a second or third or fourth time.
Yeah, there's a lot of details that they don't explicit say, hey, pay attention to me.
You know what I wanted to figure out, right? Like, so now now that we can, right?
Yeah.
It's possible to watch the entire series, right?
Yes.
So it is something that we have done stupidly for things like Lord of the Rings, watch the entire series, The Matrix, watch the entire series in one sitting.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something we should do at some point in time with our children. How
it's
old?
Like an entire day.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's a marathon. It is a difficult feature.
I'll go.
We have a request from my daughter that apparently my youngest has woken up and is needing parental assistance. So I will talk to you, wonderful people of the internet, while my wonderful wife ends up dealing with her youngest. Hopefully he will accept her. It is not always that my youngest accepts Jill for his comfort. I'm almost done anyway. I apologize in advance for Instagram. It is telling me I've got 15 seconds remaining. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. If you want to continue chatting and watching, you can join us on our YouTube channel. But if not, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. And now my Instagram has died out. hopefully they know where to find us on YouTube. But I'm still with you, lovely YouTube people. Apparently, I am just failing at spinning because, like, yesterday it took me 30 minutes, and today it's taking over an hour. Although I'm very close, very, very close. You can see I have just a small handful left, unless my wheel decides to start unspinning. There we go. And I already completely forgot what I was talking about. That's okay. We will survive. There's some interesting trailers for when we went in to watch Star Wars. The one that I was most surprised about being interested in was the new Top Gun. But I think maybe that's because now I'm into aerospace manufacturing stuff, and I was really interested in the planes. I've got mixed feelings about movies with Tom Cruise. I actually haven't seen anything with Tom Cruise since the first Mission Impossible, I believe. He's not a bad actor, just a weird guy. Let's see. It's an interesting question. Can you separate the art from the artist? There's a lot of controversial things out there today with people like Orson Scott Card, with why am I blanking on her name? The the author of Harry Potter. So that question of being able to separate the art from the artist is always an important one. And where do you draw that line? Anyways, now that I've left that, Tenet looks good. Yes, absolutely, Nora. That was another one that I was like, this seems interesting. A movie where the premise is, I couldn't quite tell if the guy was actually dead or if it was just like now he's off the grid dead, but then being able to experience things from other time periods. That's an interesting premise. So I finished up, and since my my Instagram feed has automatically ended, I think probably this is a good time to end the YouTube as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Tomorrow will be the last day, so I think we're going to end up. We'll see if we get a chance to apply as well, or maybe we'll do that for another time. But thanks again, and see you tomorrow. Have a good night.